All right, good morning, everybody. We're just getting situated here. I hope everyone is having a nice weekend. Insane week with Bitcoin pump. I heard a little bit about that, but I was not paying that close attention to Bitcoin at the moment. Hello, Necrobomb. Hello, Gundam. Hello, everybody. It's good to see some familiar faces in here. And yeah, let's get started with the Sandbox Saturday stream here. So I was hoping to get to show you guys the 0.1 game maker today, and it's not quite ready for prime time. It's working really well. There's a lot of cool stuff going on with it. It's just there's rapid fire updates coming every day for it right now, and there's just some things to get ironed out. So maybe, hopefully, next Saturday, I will get to show you version 0.1. So what I can show you today is I made a new trailer, and that is in version 0.1. So you'll get to see some of the new features in that trailer, and then we'll talk about some other stuff, and we'll take a look at some of the lands that one of our other partners here at the Sandbox made. So there's been some videos of these other lands coming out, but we haven't done them live to kind of explore them. So let's start off with taking a look at the trailer I made. All right. So that was Golem, and we'll kind of we'll go through that trailer because everything in there went by kind of fast. So we'll take a closer look and kind of break some things down in a moment for that. Now, who would like to have another giveaway for a sand fountain? Because I've still got a bunch of those that I can give away. So let me know in the chat if you guys want to have a little quick giveaway. Okay. All right. So let me get the giveaway started because I don't have that up at this second. So let me get that going here. Hopefully it's already logged in for me to go. Awesome. Okay. So let's get that up on the screen. All right. And what should we have it say? We'll just have it say fountain. And we're going to start the giveaway. And that should be up on the screen now. And yeah, so type in ! fountain to enter the stream. Or enter the giveaway. And you need to make sure that you're on the twitch.tv/the Sandbox game. And I will actually... Whoops. TV/the Sandbox game. I'll paste that link in the chat for anybody that's viewing on Facebook or YouTube or one of our other streaming platforms. Put it right in there. There we go. All right. So jump over to that link and type in !fountain if you want to win one of those NFTs. And we'll talk a little bit about this news that we have going on here for the Sandbox. So, cool things happening with the contest. So the voting is done for the artwork contest that was running for the past few weeks, and there's a lot of votes to count. So, and it's across multiple platforms. So the staff is carefully going through that to make sure every vote is counted, and sometime in the next week we should be able to announce the winners, because there's going to be 5 of them. And yeah, so I'm excited to see who wins that, because I'm not involved in the counting, so I have no idea who's going to win. So if it's not announced, well, it should be announced on Twitter. So pay attention to Twitter and Medium for the Sandbox over the next week. And I'm sure if you are watching and you were a participant and you were a finalist, you should be getting contacted if you win very soon. So, other news, the Sandbox Gems and Catalysts was announced. This was kind of, I think, hinted at before, but this goes into a lot more detail. This Medium article I have up on the screen now. I think I'm coming down with a little bit of a cold. My throat's getting scratchy, so forgive me if I start losing my voice here. So what the gem system is here, this is directly tied into Game Maker version 1.0. Not 1.0, 0.1. We're not that far along yet. And it's adding some more some new ERC20 tokens that are going to directly impact the tier, scarcity, and attributes of assets that you post on the marketplace. So what it's doing is it's creating a balancing system where you can invest these gems into your asset, and that will help determine the value of your asset. So you can't just upload, or somebody random couldn't just upload whatever asset they want and say, oh, this regular plain old looking apple is a legendary item that will make you fly and be invincible, or something like that. So this system will help kind of put a real value to the assets, so that way people have to invest these gems and catalysts into the item, and depending on how many they put in, it will let them change the attributes within a certain level. So what you're seeing here, let me scroll down a little bit. We've got these different gems: power gem, defense gem, speed gem, magic gem, and luck gem. And these attributes affect things in the Game Maker. I think there's a screenshot for that further down. Nope, there's not. Okay. So what that does in the Game Maker is something like your speed gem can affect your attack speed, or a monster's attack speed. So if you make a monster asset, the speed gem will let you have the monster attack more rapidly, so you can get a higher damage per second. Things like the power gem can affect the actual value of the damage. And then how to collect the gems. I see that question there. Let's see. I think it says it up here. Maybe I skipped over it. So yeah, I don't think the gems are user created. They're something you get through the game. Let's see here. It might not actually say. So I read through this earlier, and I didn't have time to reread it right before the stream, so my brain's a little fuzzy on the specifics. So I'm pretty sure you you can earn gems in the game through different ways. Yeah, it doesn't say in this article specifically. What I remember having in conversations before is that people would get the gems through gameplay, really, and they would be able to put those into their assets. So it kind of it's not like people are just pulling these gems out of nowhere. You have to have a way to earn them. So I'm gonna share this link into the chat so that way everybody can read it in full whenever they want. So the more gems that you put into your item, the higher the level will be. So you can see, let's see where. So yeah, if you you select the catalyst level here, so you got legendary, epic, rare, and common, and that determines how many different slots you have. So you can have more types of gems in a legendary item. There's a whole balancing system to it, and if you read the whole article, it makes more sense. I'm just going to end up talking in circles if I try like saying it while I'm actually sort of reading it at the same time. But it gives values here about how you can apply them. And all these numbers, there's a note on this article, all these numbers are temporary. They might change as things go on. So as the staff is working on stuff, they're figuring out ways to balance this and make it fair for everybody. Yes, that's correct. Catalysts define the scarcity and the number of slots. And so as you add all these gems on, you'll be able to make items that are powerful in different ways. And in the game maker, as you set the attributes for the behavior of an item, it increases the maximum value of certain sliders like attack speed and stuff like that. So it's all tied together, and it's really interesting. So let's go ahead and end that giveaway. I think everybody who's going to join in has done so. And Pepe wins a fountain. Congratulations, Pepe. So I know who Pepe is. He's one of our artists. He actually is featured in a video that I just did. Let me see if I can get the video up. What is it? I think it's just VoxEdit. I don't remember if it's capitals or not. There we go. So yeah, I just released 5 new videos on YouTube. These are the updated tutorials for VoxEdit. And this is going through the beta stuff. So it's been almost exactly a year since I started my YouTube channel. And I started with a VoxEdit video. And just 2 weeks before the 1-year anniversary, I've basically remade the video, but for the beta editors. So we can actually take a quick look. It is under animation here. I'm just going to mute this because we don't need to watch the whole tutorial, but I am going to show you where his feature is here at the end. So Pepe made that. Nice, cute little snake animation there. So I thought that was really cool. So I rendered that in Blender for him, and we've also got some animations by one of our group leaders. So I rendered these in Blender for him. Also, he put together these amazing arcade machines, and then I was like, you know what, you should animate the screen, and so he did. And I think those look pretty sweet. And so he made 2 of those. So that's by Benji. He is we've got 6 modeling groups and 1 animation group in the Creator Fund, and he is one of the modeling leaders. So so yeah, if you go to tinyurl.com/VoxEdit, that will bring you right to the playlist where I misspelled it. There's a Y in tiny. There we go. Sorry about that. So that's my little shortcut URL to go straight to this playlist on YouTube. So if you're looking for new tutorials on the VoxEdit beta, there's 5 up right now, which go over where most of the new features are, and there will be more coming over the next few weeks to kind of replace the old alpha tutorials with new, everything updated for the beta, where things are, what they look like, and also new features like inverse kinematics and stuff like that. So if you're interested in modeling or animating, I recommend checking that out. And let's get out of there. So, I didn't want to close that. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Okay, so let's go back through the Golem trailer, and I'll kind of point out where the new features are for you. And we're going to take the sound down. So I cheated with the fish. That sounds kind of funny to say. The fish are actually bird entities. I just modified the way they behave so they're swimming instead of flying. They use the exact same behavior profile for the birds, which is basically flying in kind of like irregular circles that have some random turns and stuff in them. And then I just put them underwater. And so there's a lot of new fish assets coming to the marketplace. I've seen maybe a couple dozen over the past month getting made, and a lot of them look really good. Very specific kinds of fish. You've got we've got Dory and Marlin from Finding Nemo. Those kind of fishes, a clownfish, and I don't remember what Dory's called. She's a blue tang, I think is what they're called. And we've got those and lots of others, and we've got some really big fish also, like whales and stuff like that. So lots of sea life is coming to the Sandbox very soon here. So we got those. You might also notice we updated the tall grass. You can see in here. I remodeled that and added a little waving animation. You can see them do a little wiggle. It's not a very long clip, but you can see that there. Excuse me. So other things we got going on here. You can see there's a lot of new assets in this build because we're preparing for the desert style areas. And so we've got tents and pottery and lots of new furniture and decorations like plates and rugs and bedrolls and all sorts of stuff like that. Bunch of new NPCs also, which unfortunately I didn't get in this video. I was trying to improve my frame rate, trying to record while running this, so I removed a bunch of NPCs that I had originally put in there. But this guy is one of the new NPCs. The other thing, which I didn't get working yet in this version, but is coming up, the feature's there, I just couldn't quite figure it out in time, is question trees. So you can have an NPC with a question, and you'll have a series of 4 possible answers. And when you pick an answer, something can happen. So you could unlock a door or spawn something or whatever command you choose to go with it. So if you've ever used something like RPG Maker, that kind of gives you an idea of how these interactions will work. So that's going to add a lot of variety to the worlds here. You can see that there's a new spider mob. Will there any weathering? Oh, will there be any weather? I believe so. There's none yet. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be pretty immersive worlds going on here. So things like night and day and weather and stuff, those are all possible futures that we're looking at. And so along with a spider, we've got spider eggs, webs, burned out branches, tree trunks, and skeletons. Fun stuff. You can also see here the damage bar. So the spider hit Jet here and caused a bit of damage. And you can see that Jet hasn't given up, and he's going back in and getting some solid punches in on the spider. You can also, so that was a little accident right there. You can set damage on items also. So you can have any item, you can put a health bar on, and you can punch it till it goes away, just like trees in Minecraft. So you can put a door, and you can have the door set up so you can open it with a lever, you can open it just by interacting with it, or you can punch it open, and you can have it do all three if you wanted. So that adds a level of like role-playing possibilities where you could decide how you're going to play through a game. You have different options for how you're going to get through the door. And here we get a nice wide view of a lot of these new assets. No weapons yet, at least not for the characters. There's nothing handheld yet. You could have, so you might have noticed in some of the entries for the contest, some weapons were in hand for the characters. So we could put a character in where they had a sword in their hand and an animation dedicated for that attack. As far as having a player with switching out weapons, we're not at that point yet, but we're getting there. You can see a bunch of the new assets here. We've got this really cool wall, and this actually, I think this looks like the golem. I'm pretty sure that was intentional because I think it was the same guy, Tybalt, who did all of these new desert assets, and I'm pretty sure he did the golem also. And then we've got this nice bridge. I've got all these broken column pieces. There's this tower here. Is there anything else new? I don't know if you can see it. There's this bird back here, a nice brightly colored bird. There's also a lot of new birds coming in. A lot of them are already on the marketplace. If you check out the Sandbox marketplace, you can see a lot of those new birds already. All right. Oh, I forgot to mention this. You could see it before next to the spider. There was a mushroom mentioned. So you can also have interactions highlighted. I don't have it turned on for this one specifically, but you can have it actually say like press E to interact or whatever the action key is. So it can say at a certain distance, it will tell you what an item you're coming up on is, and then it will also tell you when you can interact with it when you're in range. You can see more of the ancient architecture here, and we've got piles of gold and treasure and weapons, and we've also got Golem lurking back there. And yeah, so he's just smacking the hero around here, pretty dramatically. And yeah, so there's more settings now for how enemies will interact and attack. You can set things like the radius and the speed at which they will chase, and how far they'll chase. And what's nice about it now, it didn't do this in version 0.8, which is the one that I've been doing stuff in. It shows it all visually as you change the settings, so it'll actually do a circle. It'll show a glowing circle around, so you can see how far those distances are, and you can kind of you visually can see what the interaction's going to be. You can see the screen flash for the damage, and then I don't have it turned on just because it looked nicer for the trailer to do it this way. You can have it say a victory or loss state. So in this case, it would say game over, and it would give you the option to go back to the editor or to restart the level. And you can also have it set to win. So if you put an item like a trophy or something at the end, or even if you just get in a certain area, you can have it trigger victory, so you would win the game at that point. And that's that. So the way I did this part, actually for the spinning, is you can set a delay on death. So it's if you had something that was supposed to happen after you die, you can give it time for that to happen. So you don't just immediately restart the game or respawn or whatever you have happen at the end of the game. You can set the number of seconds after you die before the actual game ends. So if it was to like play some animation or something, it would give you those options. Some new other features that I didn't show in there. There's new NPC types. So there's a healer and a warrior. So the healer will basically chase anybody on a list around. The nice thing about all these behaviors is that you can set lists up to say what things are going to interact with. So in the case of a healer, you can say that it will heal any avatar type character. It could heal any NPC. It could heal even monsters if you wanted it to. So you could make enemy healers that would go and heal bosses or enemy mobs, and make it more difficult for the player to beat them because they're getting healed. So that's cool. The fighter is basically the opposite of a healer. They will go and attack something. They could either attack the player or they could attack other enemies. So basically you can form a team party now where you can put a healer and a warrior as part of like your Final Fantasy party or whatever kind of game you're making. So you can set up companions like you would in something like Skyrim. My throat is getting dry so fast. So if you don't have a weapon, could we just pick up items on the ground and throw it at the enemies? Not yet, but you could do that in the future. So, yeah, you would. I'm not sure what exactly is going to happen for doing like physics damage. So like just throwing something at somebody. Things get very complicated when you have like anything can damage a player. So you might want to have it be more specific in a game to like you could pick up rocks and use a slingshot or throw the rocks, but you'd have a rock inventory. So it would be a little more simple than just say like having a physics enabled soccer ball that you could kick into somebody's head, which you could do that right now. It just wouldn't damage them because there's no physics based damage at this point. So there's we're looking at going to version 0.1, so that those numbers kind of give an indication that we've still got a lot of stuff that's coming. Let's see, was there any other stuff new? I kind of mentioned this last week. There's item spawners and item voids. Good grief. So the spawner can actually, it says it can create blocks. I haven't tested that out, so I'm not sure exactly what spawning blocks means. If it could be like a nether engine. I don't know if you're familiar with the nether engine from Minecraft, where it starts spawning nether blocks in the regular world. So I haven't tried that feature out yet. I'm not sure what that does exactly, but I know that you can have an item spawner where you interact with it and it will generate an item with whatever behavior. So you can have it spawn NPCs or creatures or items. And then you can have voids, which would do the opposite. And whenever, this is where the lists come into play again, a void can remove anything at all. It can remove anything from a list, or it can remove everything but something on a list. So if we made a list that only has the player avatar on it, the void could remove the player avatar, or it could remove anything that touches it except the player avatar. And you can add as many things as you want to that list. So it gives you a lot of options for that. It can also remove blocks, like terrain blocks. So this is the first time in the Sandbox that we've seen more of a Minecraft sort of behavior with the blocks. They're not just a static thing. They're all there in the game file. So if you made a ball that removes dirt blocks, you could kick it around with physics as a player, and as it rolls on dirt, it will delete the dirt blocks. So that's has some interesting possibilities. You could make something like a wrecking ball that would destroy anything that it goes through. Yeah, I'm excited to see what I can do with that specifically. Tort asks, do I need a gem first if I want to create a strong boss? So the gems are kind of a balancing feature for the creators uploading the artists. It's not necessarily that you won't be able to create a strong boss. It's that you'll, for whatever asset you're choosing, you're going to be reined in on the kind of strengths that it has. So on a common asset, you can add more of one specific kind of trait, whereas on a legendary asset, you can add a whole bunch of a variety of traits. So you'll have more like generally strong bosses, as opposed to very like specialized bosses. Keep in mind that you don't have to use just your own assets in a game. The marketplace is going to be filled up with all sorts of stuff, from common to legendary items. So as long as you're able to purchase them from the marketplace, you're not going to be limited on what you can do in your game, because there's going to be so much content out there. We've already got over 1,000 items up on the marketplace now, and right now the Creator Fund is pumping out close to, I think, like 200 assets a month right now. And as we get more artists, we're going to have more stuff coming out. So and that's just with our Creator Fund artists. Once the marketplace goes live for everybody, you're going to have probably thousands of assets a month getting published. So there's going to be a lot of possibilities. Oh, thank you, Artsy Mad, for helping answer that question. I hadn't scrolled down yet to see what you said. So yeah, I hope that further clarified what was being said. And let's see, any other new features that of note? I think that's the main thing. A lot of the tweaks have been to the user interface, which none of you have been using it, so that more or less like a nice thing for me that it's got a cleaner interface to work with. It's also got item duplication and stuff, so if you create like an area, you can select a whole bunch of items at once and copy and paste them, so it kind of adds more quick editing for me, and then eventually you guys will get to use it too. So yeah, it's moving in a great direction. I'm really excited to show it to you. It's just not quite there yet. So hopefully next week we'll get to take a look at that. So let's see what time it is. We've still got about 20 minutes left. Let's take a look at some of the other lands that have been created by one of our Creator Fund leaders. These will be by Shinjun. He's the leader of our Korean and Japanese art team. So he's at least trilingual because he speaks to me in English, and then he also knows Japanese and Korean. So he's a pretty smart dude, and he's got a whole bunch of artists over there that he works with. And let's open the first one. So if you've been following the Sandbox on Twitter and YouTube, there's usually at least one video a week from him of stuff that he's been working on. And we're just going to kind of take a little tour through what he's been doing. I'm actually going to grab myself some more water while this level is loading. So if you could bear with me for one moment. It's here. I'll get it for the next one. Okay, so. Oh, I see some Japanese in the chat. I'm really rusty with Japanese. I think that's Kiri. I know my hiragana knowledge is very rusty. I haven't taken Japanese in over 10 years, and I wasn't particularly good when I took it. It was high school and a semester in college. So we're not going to scroll around through this in the editor. We're just going to dive right in. Oh, what's going on here? Maybe we won't do that. It's kind of freaking out a little bit. I might have too many things going on here. Oh, I'm falling. Gravity's been a little funky here. I think I might have too many objects going on. Now, Shinjun has a much more powerful computer than I do, so he may have put a bunch of stuff in here that I can't handle at this point. Okay, so I guess we'll look at it in the editor because this is running really super slow. So yeah, I think all these plants probably have something running on them. Yeah, so what's going on here, and this is something that's actually been fixed in the new version. This is something that's been fixed in the new version, is that all these plants have the plant behavior on them, and what that's doing is it's creating an update loop every single frame where it checks to see if like these plants have been eaten by an animal, and it's checking to see if like the animals are hungry and the animal's trying to find the closest food. So it's create a very slow, when you have all of these plant attributes, it ends up making things run really super slow, at least for me. So what I do is I remove that attribute from them, and then the whole thing speeds up. I guess on Shinjun's computer, he's got a lot beefier of a system than I have, so probably doesn't impact him. And that's like I said, that's actually been fixed in the new version, so it's not an issue anymore. Things run pretty smoothly, unless you have a lot of characters running around. I mean, like a ridiculous number of characters running around. So, let's see. Gorilla Jacket's chatting in Japanese over there, and I see arigato. And I don't know what the rest is. It's been too long. Pepe Hiller asks how to generate the terrain, placing block by block, or are there modeling tools like Voxel Sniper in Minecraft? Yes, there are modeling tools. So you've got the normal brush, which allows you to use box editing, like in VoxEdit or Magica Voxel. So you can draw 3D blocks like that, and you can erase them. And then you've also got the advanced brush, which has a square, diamond. Let's see if you can see it. There's diamond. Diamond, square, and sphere. And you can change the size, so you can go up to 12 blocks on each dimension for much larger things. And you can draw with it like that. And I'm gonna undo these. Not that I'm saving this anyway, but and then yeah, you have undo and redo on it also, so that makes it a lot easier to do large amounts of terrain quickly. Yeah, there's nothing left in there. So, let's see. So some cool things in this one. This boat is pretty awesome, and this isn't an asset. This is a bunch of assets all stitched together. So if you take a look at this piece, he built this thing out of pieces of wall and fencing, and then some tree trunks. So I think that was just a really creative way to put this boat together. Now, as things move on with the marketplace and stuff, eventually somebody's going to make a pirate ship or something. So you won't necessarily have to do stuff like this. But, if you can't afford a pirate ship, or you don't like the way one looks, or it's not suiting your needs, and you don't know how to model something like that from scratch out of voxels, you can get creative with this stuff. This is kind of like the stuff that people do with Legos, of finding really unconventional uses for things like, arms and mugs and stuff to create, insane robots and things like that. So lots of cool possibilities when you think about it. Now it looks like he's got a little castaway spot here. Put together a little Eeyore house. Much more convenient than Animal Crossing. I wouldn't know. I've never played Animal Crossing. My wife's been playing the mobile version. And by playing it, I mean she turns it on, and then my 2-year-old daughter runs over and tries to shake the fruit out of all the trees. So she doesn't get very long by herself to play it. It looks like the castaway has been here for a while. Has set up a little foraging operation. And what else we got going on? Oh, this is one of the pieces I modeled. I did these little animal caves. So this should spawn deer when you interact with it. Are all the land tiles 32 by 32 voxels? Yes, they are. So if you take a look at these, they're 32 voxels along the sides. And they are pure blocks. So you can't have a terrain block that has holes in it or something like that. It's always going to be a solid block. That's for optimization reasons. But you can make models that are the same size as these blocks, and then you could model geometry onto them or something like that. Good grief. Hopefully it's not the plague. That'd be really unfortunate. I hope everybody's staying home, being safe and smart about stuff. I've basically been home for 6 weeks now, something like that. But I mean, I've been working from home for 2 years now, so I'm used to not ever going anywhere. I like staying in my office all day long, so it's not too bad for me. I just go out when we need to grab some groceries or something. So have blocks are not part of the terrain system. You could make them as an object, as an asset, but they won't be part of the terrain system. Oh, that's another part of the update. I don't think it's in this one because I remember trying it and it didn't work before, but let's see if it works. Yeah, it doesn't work. So right now I'm holding shift, and there's no snapping to the movement here. In the new update, if you hold shift, it'll snap to 32 voxel increments. It'll be in line with the grid. So if you made a half block asset, you could place it so it lines up perfectly with everything in here. So we've got some big caverns going on in here. There's different ways of creating these. You can kind of build up the sides and cover over the top, or you can dig out with the modeling tools. So you have different options of doing that. Not too much going on in here. So I think that's everything on here. We've got a little grotto back here. And we'll try opening up a different level. Hey, it's Vlad. How you doing, Vlad? VBX asked, can I design my own asset in VoxEdit and export in GameMaker directly? Yes and no. Not yet in this version, and in the new version, I haven't seen that working yet, although it's something that should be coming out with the 0.1 update, or at least an update very soon afterwards. They want to get that started so that way we can, especially us in the creators fund, we can start like testing our assets in an actual game environment. Right now, there's a whole process where the developers do it to the side on their own. They're processing everything, but they're trying to open it up so that way we can just drop it in and go. The goal, I think, is that you should be able to use the GameMaker and VoxEdit offline if you want to, or off-chain, I mean. So you can put your stuff up into your account, and it will synchronize into the GameMaker, but you won't necessarily have to publish it. You won't have to spend crypto on it. That isn't ready yet, so I can't really say exactly how that's all going to work, but that is one of the goals for the update coming out. Was that one parcel? Yes, that was one parcel. So this is version 0.8. You can actually see it up in the corner here. Sorry, 0.08. And this version can only do one land parcels. But in the update, in 0.1, you can do up to, I believe, 4x4 parcels. I'm not sure if it's going to keep getting bigger, or if there's some reason for it being a 4x4 limit besides optimization reasons. So yeah, that's something that I hope to be able to show you guys in the next stream, would be making a larger parcel. You can also make them in irregular shape. So I'm not sure if that's how exactly that's going to work with the lands and the estates, but there's some cool possibilities with that as well. So we've got some giant dragon bones going on here. We've got another one of those boats. And let's see what we got going on. So Shane June, I believe he was a Minecraft artist for a long time. I wasn't familiar with his work before we started working together on stuff with the Sandbox. So I'm not entirely sure what his experience is there. Hello. And yeah, he's just really good at modeling stuff out of blocks like this, like these large scale things. So he does some pretty exciting stuff with that. And it looks like it's mostly just the dragon bones here. Let's see if there's anything hidden. We got some water underground, but I think that's just part of the template. Okay, so yeah, just the dragon bones, but that's still pretty cool. And that's another thing that's coming in the update are some really crazy dragon models. So I know a lot of you saw Pepe's awesome animated dragon that he put into the contest. And yeah, Tybalt also did some really nice, did a really nice big dragon for the update. So that we'll get to see that as an enemy. And we'll take a look at one last one. He did 3 of these pirates. Hello, friends from Korea. I can't read Korean at all, but I recognize it when I see it. You're a designer in the 24th contest. All right, did you do the Alice Fairy? Plague Doctor. That was a really good one. I mean, they were all really good, but I really liked the Plague Doctor. I think some of the initial voting was looking at just pictures, but then it was my job to go through and check the animations and stuff. So I made sure that everybody saw the animation on that, so that way they knew if they should consider it more. Because yeah, that the animations you added to the template were really, really good. So I wanted to make sure everybody saw that. Yeah, so this is the last of the 3 pirate worlds that Shinjun made. And we've got some little like floating islands going on here. And yeah, this crazy temple. Now it looks like I think there might be something kind of broken here with the version I'm using, because if you look at the assets, my sand fountain isn't in this one. Yeah, there's the dry fountain, but no sand fountain. So if you watched the videos, you know, I think that was actually supposed to be in the cave in that first one we looked at. So the sand fountain that I made was up in here in Shinjun's YouTube video for this, and I'll share a link for that in a minute. So I think there may be a version difference between what he built this in and what I'm viewing this in, because the asset there is definitely missing. Yeah, so he's got some crazy waterfall stuff going on here. So yeah, Shinjun's all about building these nice architectural things out of blocks. And yeah, he even made a dock out of logs, wall, and fencing. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, now this flickering, I don't think is going to be there in the final version. I think it's the lighting engine is having trouble resolving shadows passing through, and I think it actually looks better on the update. I haven't had a chance to check that out too much, but yeah, having the water move on all sides of the block actually creates a cool effect. So let me grab those videos real quick, or we can actually just watch them on stream. Let me pull up a browser here. We'll go to YouTube. Here we go. Here's the Sandbox's page, and let me find Shinjun's. Here we go. I think this is the one. So he releases these pretty much every week. Here we go. Yeah, you can see there's dinosaurs and stuff. So there's definitely a lot of stuff we were missing in my view. Let me see if I can increase the resolution here. 720. Why is it 720? So yeah, he's got dinosaurs. It looks like there's a different. I just tried moving. I tried moving the camera view like I was in the Game Maker. Yeah, you got dinosaurs. You've got a different kind of terrain right here. I don't think that was there. There's more of the burnt out log types. So yeah, there was a bunch of stuff missing from us. Looking at that, I didn't realize. There's more characters on the boat. Yeah, so all of these assets are in the new version. Yeah, there it is. Got the mythical deer there. More dragons. Or more dinosaurs, I guess. And we didn't open up this one. I didn't download this one. Yeah, and you can see the fountain is up in the temple. So that's all the stuff that we were missing because I didn't have the right Game Maker version, I guess. And let's see here. Yep, yeah, that's Pepe Healer just won one of those fountains at the beginning of the stream, and yeah, I'll give away a few more of them. I want to keep a few for future events and stuff, but I think I still have like 10 or 15 of them left. So for the next couple weeks, I'll be giving out one every stream. So come back next week and join us. And then we'll take another look at what I worked on. This was kind of a mad dash for me to get this done before stream today, just because of how quickly the updates are rolling out. I had to keep on jumping to new versions and stuff. So this was what we were talking about. If you missed the very beginning of the stream, that was this is Golem. So. Hello, X-Gamers. Yeah, so we've got a fighting system. There's lots of new stuff coming in version 0.1 for the Game Maker. So hopefully we'll get stuff ironed out, and I can show you that next week. We will see how that goes. Yeah, so that's about my time for today. I need to go rest my voice a little bit. But I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully I will see you again next week, and one of you will get to win another sand fountain. And yeah, stay safe, stay healthier than me, and have a good weekend. All right, thanks guys. Thank you.